Hi there and welcome back. In our last video, I promised you that I would show you how to enter a multi-currency transaction in an environment where multi-currency hadn't been set up. So in this system here, we've got a Canadian, this is a Canadian company, and we've got a couple of accounts in US dollars. So we talked about in our last video how the cash account itself, the US cash account, would have a companion account to track the foreign exchange on that account, so that both of these accounts added together are giving us the Canadian equivalent for US dollars on hand. We've got very similar accounts for accounts receivable and accounts payable. We would also have a similar setup for any type of investments or any type of liability that was held in a foreign currency. To enter a transaction in the foreign currency, I'm going to flip over to accounts payable here. We're going to enter a transaction for our vendor, Not Currency. So Not Currency lives in any town. We're going to go ahead and select all that. We're going to enter a $100 US dollar purchase. Okay. Now notice that the currency account here stayed as CAD. In my environment, because I have other currency companies set up, I did have to select a functional currency. In your environment, you probably wouldn't see any currency because you wouldn't have set that up. We're going to give it a document number. Now let's go and take a look at the distributions. So if we look at the distributions here, you can see we've got outside services and accounts payable US funds. It shows the right accounts for the most part, but it's recording $100, which is not the Canadian equivalent for this. So let's assume an exchange rate of $9. The actual expense is $109. Okay, so now we have to choose an offsetting account for that extra $9. And in our case, it's the accounts payable foreign exchange account. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to throw that $9 in here. You can see I have a fully balanced entry, and now I've got the Canadian dollar equivalent of my expense along with my accounts payable and foreign exchange on accounts payable US dollars. So let's go ahead and say OK. We're going to post that. Alright, now that that's all posted, we can go through and take a look at our smart list and go ahead and refresh the data. You can see that our accounts payable, let's go by account number here. You can see that our accounts payable amount has changed and that our foreign exchange amount has changed. So now let's go and calculate some gain and loss on our US exchange, our US accounts payable account. So I'm going to go into my financial inquiry. I'm going to go to summary. I'm going to look up my US accounts payable account. Now I happen to know what these account numbers are because I created them. Normally users would be clicking through to look them up unless they know them as well. I can see at the end of period 11 my account balance here is $3,100 US. Let's assume that my exchange rate has changed to $1.15. It's actually gone up quite a bit by the end of November. So what I need to do is figure out what value is 3,100 at $1.15. Now that I know the amount is 3,100 in US dollars, I can go and start to calculate some exchange. My exchange rate is 1.15 today, which means overall my exchange amount should be $35.65. Now what that means is the amount in my foreign exchange account should be this amount minus this amount. So I should have $465 in that account. But if I go back to my inquiry window and I take a look at account number 2121, I can see that my account balance at the end of period 11 is only $129. So I need to do a pretty big credit to that account. I need to credit that account $336 in order to make the amount the equivalent of the current US amount. So now I'm going to pop back to Great Plains, enter a journal entry, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit my accounts payable exchange account with the credit that we saw before of 336. Then we're going to hit our gain or loss account. With the debit of 336, so we have an expense amount here of $336. Then we'll go ahead and post that, and our month end is complete for accounts payable. We would repeat that obviously for accounts receivable, cash, for any investments or liabilities that we have on hand at month end. If you have any questions about anything that you've seen in this video, once again, you can reach out to me at any of the contact information that you see on your screen right now. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.